This week on the Road with Mickey, tips for getting the most out of your fall trip to Disney.
We're on the road with Mickey, we're gonna have some fun. Regardless of the rain or sun, our trip has just begun. So buckle up, let's go. We're about to start the show. And maybe if you like us, you'll see where else we'll go.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike, and she's Sophie.
And she's Brenda.
Hi, everyone.
And he's Grogu. He says, I have faith in you, Mike. I know you'll never forget. It might take a moment, but you'll remember. And I'm the only one that knows what that means. But anyway, and we are on the road with Mickey. This is episode 237. 237.
Wow.
For September 16th, 2024. And our feature topic this week is tips for getting the most out of your fall trip to Disney. We have got a tip full episode, I think, this week.
Hope so.
I hope so too.
I hope so too.
We shall see.
But
I'm sure we do.
I'm sure we do. But first, we've got some cheddar from the big cheese, and it's my turn, yay me, to start us off.
All right.
Thank you for getting rid of the difficult cheddar first, Daddy.
Yeah. Yeah, the hearts of the world are a little heavier now as we learned of the passing of the class of 2019 Disney legend James Earl Jones at the age of 93 on September 9th. There are so many roles he was in, from the voice of Darth Vader to Mufasa in The Lion King. My favorite role of his was the impact he had in the movie Field of Dreams as the writer Terrence Mann. We here at On the Road with Mickey extend our prayers to his family and friends that grieve his loss and to a world that knew him through his work and seems a little dimmer today.
Yeah, may he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Well, I think he enjoyed a happy occasion, and I think he would say whoop-de-doo. Or is it hoop-de-doo? Yes, that's right. The Hoop-de-Doo Musical Review celebrated its 50th anniversary on September 5th. Woo! Who's ready for strawberry shortcake?
I'm always ready for strawberry shortcake, and we have never eaten there.
No.
I know. We need to fix that at some
fried
point.
chicken.
Yeah, I've heard.
That does sound really good. Well, it's my turn now, and over at the Magic Kingdom, the Tron Light Cycle Run removed the virtual queue and switched to standby instead. I don't know about you, but I think it might have been a little too early.
I don't know.
I think it's great.
It was a virtual queue for over 520 days.
Yeah,
I know.
You can still also, you don't have to stay on standby if you want to buy the single pass.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
I think it's good though, because then now instead of people having to decide whether to do the Tiana's virtual queue or the Tron virtual queue, they can just focus on the Tiana's virtual queue.
There you go.
I think it's good.
You're right. You're right. Well, anyway, that change was instated on September 9th, so a little while last week.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think that's some fun cheddar, except for James Earl Jones, of course. But as always, we have our links in the show notes on how to connect with us. We have our Facebook page. We also have our Facebook group, the YouTube channel. If you're watching us on YouTube, you're already here. Hit subscribe and like and turn on the notifications so you know when we post our next episode. And we're on Instagram, and you can email us at info@ontheroadwithmickey.com.
Yay!
Mhm.
And we actually had one teeny tiny bit of feedback on the ABCs of Disney. I know it wasn't the most fun topic, probably.
It's fun to us. It's
it's
fun to
fun to
think of
us,
Disney
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
and we had a lot that we covered, so maybe we covered everything. I don't know.
Mhm.
But anyway, Chandler did chime in on our question about the letter T, and he reiterated what Brenda said last week. He said Tigger. He's
Yay!
wonderful, bouncy, fun, 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 fun.
There you go.
But the most wonderful thing about Tiggers is I'm the only one.
That's
There you
right.
go.
That's
That's
right.
right. All right. Thanks, Chandler.
Thanks,
Thank
Chandler.
you.
All
All right
right.
then.
Well, it is time for our feature topic.
T
Tips.
is for tips.
T is for tips. Good job, Sophie.
Yay!
Segways.
Segways are awesome. Um, there are several tips that I have come up with. I have actually got 10, and I have put them in my little notes app on my phone, and so they're on my MacBook as well. But I think that it would be a lot of fun to just kind of go around and
Mhm.
just see what we get. But the tips for getting the most out of your fall trip to Disney. So it's my week to start us off, and I am going to just throw out a little bit of a warning to make sure that if you're going to Disney in the fall, make sure you're aware of the hours, because the hours can vary, and you also got to be especially aware of early closings because of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So
Or
that's
Mickey's
one.
Very Merry, which is also in the fall.
That's true. I was thinking of Not So Scary because I was thinking September, October, November. I think more towards winter, but it's still fall.
Yay!
You're right. But anyway, that is my first tip: is just to be aware of early closings at the Magic Kingdom because of the Halloween
Mhm.
party or the Christmas party, like Brenda said.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You're right.
because if you don't have park hoppers, you won't want to go to a park that closes early unless you have something you really want to do that night.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
Good reason to have a park hopper.
that's true. All right. Well, who's next? Brenda's next.
I'm next. Well, I have to look at my phone because I want to make sure that people, especially people who maybe haven't visited before, know that there are a lot of activities at your resort and you're going to want to participate in those. And I'm just going to share some from the resort that Mike's getting ready to stay at when we go and the resort I'm going to be staying at when we go, just because they're just general information. So at the Port Orleans, which is where I'll be, some of the activities you can do are, of course, the poolside activities. They have games and they have all kind of games that you can play. They're family friendly. They have the campfire on the bayou, which is a lot of fun. They have the backyard bash, the glow with the flow at Old Man Island Pool. Um, they have a lot of activities. You can do Mickey tie-dye shirts. You can rent the carriage there at the resort. But there's a lot of fun free activities. So some of the things they have over at the Contemporary, which is where Mike will be, are also Mickey tie-dye shirts. They have a campfire there. They have Beats on the Bay. They have silent disco. I have never done silent disco, by the way. I may have to go over there for a visit while you're there and just try silent disco for just 15 minutes because I've never done it.
What exactly is
I've never
silent
heard of it.
disco?
You you choose your genre of music that you want to listen to, grab headphones. Other people are all in there with headphones on listening to
Oh.
their genre of music and everybody's dancing to their music and it's crazy. I've never done it.
Wait. So you're telling me that I could go to this place and I could dance my heart out to Broadway songs?
Yeah, while other people
Whatever.
are listening to whatever they want
They're
and they're
listening to
dancing
their
too.
rock and roll or their country.
Do you mean that people could even go and waltz to like classical music with this?
Yeah, whatever we want.
Wait, that's amazing. Where is this?
At the
It's at the
Contemporary.
Contemporary. Let's see exactly where it
At the
is.
Contemporary. I want to do
Okay, so
this.
it's on Wednesdays at 7:30. And it says Contemporary Courtyard. It's out in the courtyard.
Okay.
So
You'll
just so
have
you
to.
know.
We're not going to be there on a Wednesday, are we?
Right. No, we're not. But
Oh.
Brenda is going to do it, and she's going to have Butch record
Yay!
her. Butch is going to record her, and we're going to share it on the podcast, aren't we, Brenda?
No.
You're going to share it with me at least.
It's going to end up on
No.
YouTube,
It is
and
not ending
Brenda's
up
going
on
to be an
YouTube.
internet
No
success.
way.
She will be up
Daddy.
there. She will be as hot a ticket item as my buddy Lee, Pixie Lee, and his videos from Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, no.
Brenda is
None
gonna
of
say,
that.
Lee, let me show you how it's done.
No. But just remember,
Daddy.
at your resorts, you can have a lot of fun. And even on Halloween, they have special things that are fun. Christmas time, they have special things that are fun. So just check out your recreation guide when you
So
check in. You get a recreation calendar. It tells you all the activities that happen at your resort and enjoy those on your downtime.
that's a great tip. Oh my gosh, that blows mine out of the water.
Wow. Yeah, it does. Well, it also blows mine out of the water too, but mine is kind of a necessary tip to have, and that's, of course, talking about the weather. So,
Yay.
the thing about the weather at Disney, it's Florida, at least Disney World, it's Florida, and the weather there, just like most of the weather on the East Coast, but especially in the South, it fluctuates. So
Yeah.
anyone from North Carolina knows that you could have rainstorm, tornadoes, and then a blizzard all in the span of a week or two, depending on what time of year it is. And the same thing goes for Florida, with the exception of the snow. It's a little too warm down there for snow most of the time. But with that in mind, you will want to pack accordingly. You can try to keep an eye on the weather apps and see what they're going to say for your stay, but I find that the weather apps have a margin of error, so I prefer to just pack and prepare for both hot and cold, because most of the time when I pack shorts and t-shirts, it's going to be windy and it's going to be freezing and I'm going to be cold because I thought it was Florida and that means it's always hot. That's not the case. But then when I pack jeans and sweatshirts and hoodies, it's always hot. So the best thing to do is just pack both. And then you can
Yeah.
layer your outfits accordingly depending on the
Bingo.
day.
Excellent
Dressing
advice.
in layers. Yeah.
Excellent advice.
And
And
I
also you'll
suspected
want
that
to
might
bring,
be.
yeah,
Go ahead.
you'll also want to bring an umbrella or poncho because I did some research and turns out that thunderstorm season in Florida lasts May through October, which is why it's almost always raining when we're there in the summer, but that will also
Mhm.
carry on into the fall.
Yeah. And I thought Sophie might mention the temperatures and dressing accordingly.
Yeah.
So I did a quick Google. The average temperatures in September are 90 for the high and 73 for the low. And for October, it's 85 for the high and 66 for the low. So if you're at the park in the evening, that 66 might get a little chilly, especially like Sophie said, if there's any. So
If you're
Yeah.
there in early
that's a
December,
good
you
tip.
can have 80 degrees one day and 40 degrees the next day, just like, you
Mhm.
know,
Yep.
a lot of
Like we
places.
Yeah.
said, lots of fluctuation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great tip, Sophie.
And
Well,
Excellent.
thank you.
yeah. And another one that kind of goes hand in hand with that is even if it's not, 95, 100 degrees out, the sun is still a factor. So
Mhm.
sunscreen is still a must.
Absolutely. You're right.
Sunscreen, you need it. You need to make sure that you are not um, frying yourself and getting into any sort of trouble like that because you did
Mhm.
not put any sunscreen on. So, sunburns, skin cancer, we don't want to start that process
Mm,
while we're at Disney.
mm-mm. No, no, no.
So, that one was short and sweet.
Good job. Well, I'm still at the
Thank you.
resort. I haven't left yet. So I'm going to just tell people because I know y'all are kind of focusing on the September, October, but I'm thinking toward my early December trip, which is, I just can't
Well,
wait,
I'm
y'all.
getting
I just
there.
can't wait.
I'm getting
But
there.
I
I'm
wanted to
focusing
remind
on
people,
both.
yay! I wanted to remind people that the pools at Disney are heated. So the pools at your resort are heated. So you could have a lot of fun at the pool, even if the weather feels kind of cool, as long as you're prepared to get out and run when you're done.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
my kids did. Yep. They would swim, it'd be 50 degrees, and I'd be sitting out at the pool. They're just having a blast. And then they get out and wrap those towels around them and run them to the room.
Oh.
So much fun. So many memories. But those pools are
Yeah.
heated, so remember that. Don't fail to pack your swimsuits thinking you won't be able to swim if the temperatures look a little cool. So
Mhm.
keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a great
speaking of
tip.
heated pools and whatnot, one also has to keep in mind the two water parks that are on the Disney property, that being Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon. Which most of the time Blizzard Beach is the one that's open in the colder months because it is themed to be snow, but their pools are especially heated. I don't know much about Typhoon Lagoon, I've never been, but that one is generally open in the summer months and whatnot, so that one we will put to the wayside. Blizzard Beach is fun.
Yep, they're both fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
All
They haven't made
right.
the
Mhm.
switch yet, so it's open. Typhoon Lagoon's open all this month.
Yep.
All right. Was that your
Good one.
second one, Sophie?
Yeah, that was my second.
Good one.
Okay. Um, my next one is to it kind of goes in the category of stop and smell the roses. Um, you know what? Part of the fun for me at going to Disney in certain times of the year is the way that it's decorated. And in this case, I'm not thinking of the Christmas decorations, although those are phenomenal and I love that. I was thinking of the fall decorations because
Yeah.
they're just so uniquely Disney, and so take time to take your pictures of the decorations to get those memories and soak it in. Don't just go from one attraction to the next attraction and blah 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 and miss everything around you. Just take it a little slower. Go that little extra step and just enjoy seeing how the Imagineers and cast members have created the park for that season because it's just really, really phenomenal
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that is a great one.
I'm writing a note here.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, one of the
She's.
things I want to
Are
make sure
you
people
writing a
do is
note to
to
Are you
remind me
writing a
to
note
say,
to
yeah,
remember
to remember
to no
something.
to
Yes.
remember to remember to take in the scenery and enjoy the decorations?
Yeah, I do that every time.
Oh, okay. I thought
So
that's what
much
you were
fun.
writing the note.
One of the things I do want to remind people to do, though, is do things that you can't do at home. And one of those
Mhm.
special things is the Food and Wine Festival. Unless you have, unless you live in a town that does that. I mean, we don't. So that's
Neither
just
do
an
we.
extra special something that we can do when we're at Disney that we can't do here. So it's just something to remember.
Even if your town does have a food and wine festival, it is still absolutely worth taking part in when you're at Disney because it's not something that you need to get an extra ticket for. It's literally there for your convenience when you're visiting Epcot every single day,
Mm-hmm.
whenever the park is open.
That's right.
Yeah.
You just have to pay for the special food and wine,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't have to pay to
Yeah.
participate in the event.
Nope.
Right.
Well, dang, you took my one, Aunt Brenda.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. We can still both talk about it. What's your favorite food and wine thing?
Oh my
What's
God.
your
I can't
favorite,
really have
Sophie?
wine, but
You're right.
the cheddar soup. I love the soup over there at Canada. I think your dad loves it too.
He does love it. He
Cheese
likes their
soup.
I
filet
thought
mignon.
Sophie liked it. I
I
So
thought
good.
did
Sophie
like
liked the
it.
cheddar soup.
I liked it when we ate at Le Cellier, but it was just a little bit over salty for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Delicious.
I like it, but it's not a must-have for me. My favorite thing at the Food and Wine Festival has to be the teriyaki bao buns.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love those, and I want to try the creme brulee at France.
Mmm. Try that this year.
Yeah? Wait, no, is the Food and Wine going to be going on through
No,
December?
but I think you can get that over there anyway.
Mm, I will have to try.
And and and
And
there's a teriyaki bao bun recipe in our cookbook.
there is, and I'm working on another
Yay.
recipe right now, so that one will have to wait.
Sounds
Oh,
like a
that one
plan.
sounds worth putting it to the front and making it happen, Sophie.
Yay.
I'll need to get the ingredients for it.
Anyway, that just sounds yummy.
It does sound yummy. Oh gosh, we're derailing here.
Shameless plug back to previous episodes.
It is not a
Yay.
shameless plug. It is a delicious plug.
Delicious.
Delicious. It's not
Well,
shameless.
I have actually two, excuse me, got a tickle in my throat.
You okay, Daddy?
Just a little, feels like a crumb on my throat. But anyway, I am okay.
Okay.
I actually have two items on my list that are related to the Food and Wine Festival. So I am going to mention the first one,
Yay.
Okay.
and um, and that would be if you do have a day at Epcot planned, take a day, like we were talking about, to enjoy the Food and Wine Festival kiosks, and perhaps, like Sophie has indicated she wanted to do, and we have done for other things, eat around the world that day instead of making a table service reservation.
Oh yeah.
That way you can snack your way around the world and enjoy the incredible autumn days in the brilliant blue skies
And I
Yeah.
think that
in the
might
World
be
Showcase.
easier to do for the Food and Wine just because it's not quite as hot, so you can maybe endure standing in the outdoor lines waiting for the food a little longer.
That's a good point. Really good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, the lines are
So,
very, very long, which I think is why I haven't done it quite as thoroughly as I would like to.
yeah, that's when you put on your patience pants, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
which I
Or
packed
shorts,
which I
you
did
know.
pack because I'm packing for both temperatures.
Yep.
There you go. There you go. Bingo. Dress in layers.
Yep, dress in layers.
Oh, good one. All right, Brenda, what's next on your list?
Well, I'm keeping a little bit longer with the do things there that you can't do at home while you're on vacation, and that is one of those is Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. And one is Jollywood Nights if you're interested in that.
That's right, because those start in November,
And
don't
there,
they?
yes, and okay, this is my opinion, which of course I freely give. Mickey's Very Merry is one of my staples every holiday season. Jollywood Nights started last year. I was able to meet Mary Poppins and Penguin, which was fabulous, and the show was great, but to me, it it's not long enough. You can't do it all. You got to pick. And
Mm.
they also last year didn't give out anything. They didn't give out like a treat. When we left, they gave out coasters. Like they gave us each a coaster, Jollywood Nights
Mm.
coaster. But like at Mickey's Very Merry, they give out the cookies and the hot cider and hot cocoa, etc. They say that this year at Jollywood, they're going to be giving out a special treat. So at least they're giving people a treat, one treat, but I'm not paying to go to it this year.
I
I was
see.
gonna ask if you were gonna go.
I'm going to Mickey's
Yeah.
Very, going to Candlelight Processional, of
It's
course.
us! Whoop, whoop,
Now,
whoop,
She got her
party!
tickets.
not going to Jollywood Nights this year. Sorry if anybody's
Yeah.
disappointed out there. I'm sorry. There's a lot. There's if as long as you're going to decide on what to do, you're going to have a great time. Especially if the things to do involve your favorite things. But trying to do everything is just impossible to me in that amount of time. So
I see.
And that is a tip that works year round.
Mm-hmm.
Prioritize your must sees and do's and put the others down for another trip perhaps.
Yeah.
That is a year-long tip.
well,
Good
and you
job,
kind of have
Brenda.
you also have to prioritize at Mickey's Very Merry. But we've been so many times we know what we want to do. But you do have to do it there too. But it is longer and it is it's different. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well,
Yeah.
actually, when I think about that, something that I've never done, but that I want to do because it seems like so much fun is the Oogie Boogie Bash over on the other side of the country in Disneyland, not Disney World. That is, they don't have the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party at Disneyland.
Mm-mm.
And the
No.
Oogie Boogie Bash is their alternative to Mickey's Not So Scary. And it takes place over in California Adventure. It's not in the Disneyland park proper. And they have all these different Disney villains dressed up and walking about in the parks. And you
yeah.
can get your picture taken with some of them. They will interact with you. And it just seems like such a cool idea. And you can still dress up in costumes there. You can still dress up. I've seen the past couple of years, I have seen so many social media posts about the Oogie Boogie Bash. And one of them that stuck out to me the most was this group of girls who went, and their costumes were the trash cans that you can find throughout Disney's California Adventure because the trash cans are themed depending on where in the
Cute.
park you are. And so
That's
it was like
awesome.
a scavenger hunt. They would go throughout the park looking for the trash can that matched their
Oh my
costume.
gosh, cute.
And then literally, they would bring their arms into their costume and duck their head down and crouch, and they would look like a trash can. You
That is
wouldn't realize it
hilarious.
was a person.
That is
That's
hilarious.
funny.
It
The
is.
real question would be, did anyone try and throw trash into their trash can?
I have
Be
no
thinking it
idea.
was.
Yeah, you never know. I bet they
You
know, but
never know.
they're not
But that's
talking.
awesome. Yeah.
It was really, really something else.
They're not
And
talking
so,
trash cans.
yeah, but I'm not going to either the Halloween party or the Oogie Boogie Bash this year, so that will have to wait for a few
Another year.
years down the road.
Yep. Yep.
That's great.
All right. But
Fun.
that's a good one, Sophie. Was
Thank
checking
you.
out the Oogie Boogie out west,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty much a locals party.
It
I had
is.
one client that I got tickets for once, and you don't buy it through any sort of Disney site. You buy it through your My Disney Experience. So you buy it as if you're just I want to
Oh,
go, and I'm the one that purchases it. Um,
I
so
see.
yeah,
Fun.
it's also more limited in the engagements compared to Not So
Mm-hmm.
Scary. So there's not as many opportunities. Um, Now,
I just
one
love
other thing,
Halloween.
Yeah.
yeah, one other thing about um, the Food and Wine Festival. Back to that one more time for me
Yeah.
is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brenda, but I was thinking um, that if you are on the Disney dining plan, you can use your snack credits at the kiosks. Is that correct,
Uh,
or am I
I
thinking
think it
old
depends
data
on the food and the cost of
and
that
the
item.
cost? Okay. But to point to that though is that if you do that, you're going to go through your snack credits really quickly. So another option might be to buy one of the gift cards with the wristband and just reload it and use that as your way of paying for the snacks or the things that you buy at the kiosk, because that way you can swipe through really quickly and all that. It might
Yeah.
be a more easy way to get through the lines and paying for your goodies. So
Mm-hmm.
um so that was my last food and wine tip for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Yes. Well, you know, if you're like the rest of us and you think you're going for your once in a lifetime Disney trip, uh, good luck with that.
Sure. Sure, sure, sure,
Uh,
sure.
you're no.
No.
So, let me just say that sometimes when you're on your vacation and you're using the bus transportation or your Skyliner or boat or whatever, you in your mind are actually planning your next trip. And some of the things you might want to know is that resort over there looks nice. I'd like to maybe go over there and see what it's all about while we're here
You're
to
absolutely
plan
allowed.
the next trip. Yeah, go do your resort hopping.
Yeah.
It's a great way to kind of dream and plan about where you might want to stay the next time.
There
And
is
it's fun.
nothing stopping you. If you're a Disney guest, you are free to go almost anywhere on the resort grounds,
Mhm.
and that includes all of the hotel resorts. You are absolutely welcome there.
Yep. It's fun to
Yep.
dream and it's fun to plan.
It is. I find it is really, really difficult for me to leave Disney World after a trip without knowing when am I gonna be back.
Yeah.
Like, if I
Yeah.
don't know when I'm gonna be back, when my next trip is, then I don't have anything to look forward to, and it makes it so much harder. So I at least have to have some sort of not set in stone plan, but some sort of idea in my mind. Okay, when's the next one? It
Yeah.
can be next year, it can be in 2 years. I don't care. I just need to have an idea of when it will be.
Yeah. It's good to
There
have
you
something to
go.
look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But speaking of resorts, I'm going to piggyback off of Aunt Brenda for this, but not in the way you might expect. There is a culture at some of the resorts. The ones that come to mind especially are the Wilderness Lodge with the cabins. At least there used to be that culture. I don't know if there still is with the way they've renovated them or not, but it still definitely exists at Pop Century, and I'm sure it exists at many of the moderate and value resorts. And that is decorating your resort hotel room. If it's Christmas time, then the resorts will decorate themselves. But if it's Halloween time or something like that, there aren't many special decorations like there are for the big holiday that is Christmas. And so a lot of guests will take it upon themselves to actually decorate their own hotel rooms, especially if they're staying there for a longer duration. And I'm actually going
Or even a
to
birthday.
share my screen.
Or even a birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, but especially for Halloween, there, especially at Pop Century, people will hang up these little decorations in their windows, and they'll close the curtain so that you can't see inside their room, obviously, but look like they will celebrate anything through their windows, and it's fun to just go around the park, I mean the resort, and see what people are doing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That was
Yes, that
cool.
is
Thanks
great.
for sharing that,
They're
Of
Sophie.
fun
course.
for watching. They're fun. Like people are very creative. Like not me, but other
They
people
are.
Yeah,
are
you
very
are.
creative. The things they do is like, oh my gosh, how did they even think of that? Nor less how they do it. It's crazy. People are
As long
awesome.
as you
It's
can
cool.
take the decorations down at the end of your stay and it won't cause any damage to the window or anything, you are absolutely free to decorate your room however you like.
Yes.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of any of that.
Mhm.
Um, so my turn, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's your turn.
Okay. So when it comes to attractions, because yeah, we love to slow down a little bit, like I was saying earlier, but you go to Disney because they have cool attractions too. And for me, one of the things I like to do is to kind of visit the attractions that kind of cater to that season. For example, if you're there September and October, the Haunted Mansion, even though it's a must do all year round, but in September, October, it's even more. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Or
absolutely.
if you got the incredible um the fall temperatures and stuff like that, a trip to Tom Sawyer Island while you still can
While you still
seems
can.
like a while you still can, because remember it's closing.
Yeah.
But while you still can, a trip to Tom Sawyer Island just seems like the perfect early afternoon thing to do.
Yeah.
Bring your
Especially if it's
snacks, right,
cool.
Brenda?
Oh
Yes. Bring the
yeah.
You bring your
snacks.
snacks
Mhm.
and you just enjoy. You enjoy. It's almost like you've gone to a national park right in the middle of Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
It's
know?
wonderful.
It is. Yeah.
So
Another thing with
so
the rides
those
is the
sorts of
holiday overlays
things.
too. Right, Mike?
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. The holiday overlays are really cool. And if you are fortunate enough that you are going to Not So Scary Halloween Party, then you really want to go check out Haunted Mansion because you will have ghosts out in the front talking to you. And it's a lot of fun, isn't it, Sophie?
Yay.
Yeah. It is so much
Remember when
fun.
they were there?
I
It
remember.
was so neat when they were
I
talking to us.
Yeah, I was it was the year that I insisted we all dress up as Alice in Wonderland. I was the White
Uh-huh.
Rabbit, and I remember her saying, "Oh, look, it's the White Rabbit. Are you late for something?" And I said, "Yes, your clock inside is broken because it said 13."
Yep. Yeah.
Well, and don't forget about your
That was
Jingle Cruise too, Skipper.
Oh yeah,
that's
Daddy.
right. Yeah.
Yep.
I forgot about my Jingle Cruise actually. because I have never done the Jingle Cruise. I've
Oh.
only done the Jungle Cruise. So I didn't
So
do
he
it when it
hasn't
was
seen the
overlaid.
backside of melted snow.
I have not. Is that what they say?
And you
Oh,
have it, the
goodness.
holiday overlay at Space Mountain is cool, and the Monsters Inc. one is cute. And they just add a little extra stuff, just to make it a little more magical during the seasons. It's fun.
You could almost call it pixie dust.
You could, especially since you have a couple of pixies here.
I know.
Yeah.
We know all about pixie dust.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
We know all about pixie dust.
Yeah, Aunt Brenda is my go-to.
And
Oh,
she's my travel agent.
Yeah? Trust what Daddy trusts.
There you go.
Y'all
Even
are
if
so
he
I'll
is
be
the
right
bad.
back.
travel
You
agent
guys keep
himself.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I love you both. I hope you know this.
We love you too. And I'm going to do one that has really not so much to do with when you're traveling. It's just a reminder for any time you're traveling and you're with your littles. Don't forget about child swap, because you can ride anything and you can just swap turns with keeping the child that's either too small or too afraid of a ride. And it's just such a useful tool to use child swap. So be sure to do that on the rides that have height requirements if you should need to. I know it doesn't have anything to do with the season, but just a reminder.
Yeah.
It is a good
That's
reminder
a
too.
year-long tip.
Yeah, but
That's a year-long tip.
especially in October, because it's the spooky season. So your little ones may be a little bit more susceptible to being scared, and there is nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
No.
Want them to be happy.
Yes, that's the whole point of the trip, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Trying to think. Oh, right. Back to Mickey's Not So Scary and the Oogie Boogie Bash. I feel like I already covered this, but just costumes are a culture. This is the one time of year where adults are free to wear costumes the way kids do. And normally Disney does have a dress code saying that certain costumes are only allowed for children, like the Disney princess costumes and whatnot, because they don't want adults to be wearing these costumes and for people to mistake them for official Disney characters and want to get their autograph and whatnot. That dress code requirement is sort of loosened around this time of year. You still don't want to have a costume so good that people are lining up wanting to take pictures with you and get your autograph. You don't want that, but you're a little more free to go all out with your Disney costumes. I know this year I'm making my costume Constance Hatchaway, the Black Widow bride. You won't find her in the park, but I'm still keeping it just a little bit on the lower key side because my dress is not going to go all the way down to the floor. It only reaches to a little bit past my knees.
Cool.
Yeah, but people
Yeah.
should
We got to see
recognize me.
pictures of that, Sophie.
I am
We
working
got to
Yeah.
see
on the
pictures
final
of that.
touches right now, actually.
Okay, good. Um, then that's a good one. Like you said, there are some things that you can't do. You can't have a Mickey Mouse hat on or
No.
a Mickey Mouse head and act like you're Mickey Mouse. You're not
Mm-mm.
allowed to do that. It doesn't matter what time of year it is or whether you're at a party or not.
Yeah.
So, and I
But
think
The rules are published,
I
though.
think when
yeah.
yeah, and they are. Um and what was really cool was when Randy was the Mad Hatter and
Oh,
how
yeah.
because you don't see the Mad Hatter in the parks very often, except we saw the Mad Hatter in the parade, was it?
Yes.
And he was like, "Whoa, you did a great job at being the Mad Hatter." And he was talking to
Because
Randy.
he
So
had the whole prosthetic nose and everything.
yeah,
Cool.
It was
Yeah,
really
he
neat.
used to be over at 1900 Park Fair for breakfast, but not anymore.
Mhm.
Not anymore. Um, all right. So next one for me. Um, I was kind of thinking of this and it surprised me that it came to my head. But when it comes to, I'm speaking specifically about the fall temperatures and things like that. When it comes to that time of year, you got the beautiful skies, you got crisp temperatures, and I mentioned Tom Sawyer Island. Um, but I also thought about, and this is funny because we don't hardly ever go over there, but a stroll through Storybook Circus in the Magic Kingdom just sound really enticing to me. And
Yeah.
maybe because it's so nice out, you also climb Swiss Family Treehouse and
Mm.
go take some pictures from the top. Those sorts of things that you don't often think about doing. A ride, if the temperature's right and the skies are a gorgeous blue, a ride on Dueling Dumbo would be phenomenal in that setting.
Mm.
Just saying.
Yep. Yes.
So
Everything is better in that setting.
yeah.
Everything is better when it's cooler in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This coming from a Texas gal.
God, it's hot.
Even I
It's
would agree
cold.
that it can get a little too
Can
hot.
I add one little other thing?
Of
Yeah.
We were
course.
talking about pixie dust, and I
Mhm.
want to give a shout out to one of my clients on the technology side. Her name is Sheila, and I went to her business, and she said, "I've got this for you. It was in my mom's stuff that was boxed away, and I'm kind of cleaning up a little bit, and I thought of you, and it is a really cool plate of
Oh,
Florida.
cool.
Where am I? There we are. And it
Oh,
shows
wow.
Magic Kingdom, and it shows all the different things
That's
in Florida,
neat.
and it is so cool, and it's like it's pristine,
That
you
is
know?
so
Wow.
It's
awesome.
so cool. It's got like Tarpon Springs, and it's got Wiki Wachi. And I grew up going to Tarpon Springs and going to Wiki Wachi. I
Oh,
took Sophie to Wiki Wachi when she
cute.
was a kid. I mean, it's just
Yeah, that
so
was with the
neat.
mermaid show.
So I
That's
had Pixie
cute.
Dust earlier this week, and I wasn't even at Disney. I was Pixie
That's
Dust by
awesome.
Sheila. So thank you,
That's
Sheila.
awesome.
She doesn't
Wow.
even know she's on the
Yay.
podcast, but anyway.
That's okay. That's good.
So
Well, I'm going to bring up another thing that happens during the fall, but in December, and that is on December 7th and 8th, they will have Dapper Days. Dapper Days at Hollywood Studios
oh
on
my
December
gosh.
7th
Oh,
and
okay.
Disney's Animal Kingdom Park on December 8th. They're having Dapper Days. That's a fun thing you can do
Gosh.
very seldom, but take advantage of it if you can while you're there.
So
A lot
Oh
of
my
December
fun.
7th
goodness.
is
And
Hollywood
December
Studios
and December
And
8th
December
is
8th
Magic
is Animal
Kingdom.
Kingdom.
is
Animal
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 Kingdom.
Kingdom.
Kingdom, not
Yeah,
Magic.
they're not
Okay.
having it at Magic, but you dress up a little or a lot. We celebrate fun, refined style from vintage classics to chic contemporary looks. Active and retired service members are encouraged to wear their dress uniforms if they like. Be still my heart. But
Oh, wow.
Sophie
Yeah.
and Mike and Cindy did that last year, and oh my gosh,
That
looked
was one of the
beautiful.
that was one of the most fun I've had at Disney in a while. I loved dressing
That
up.
was that was actually this year in April.
Yeah,
Oh, it was this year, yeah.
and
It
I
was
looked
April.
great.
I think
You
it was
sure
April.
did. You looked beautiful.
What
Yeah.
can I say? Maybe I just belong in the 50s.
There you go.
Hey, somebody's got to.
Mm,
Hmm.
ain't gonna be me. Although I love the 50s music and all
I
that,
love
but
the 50s, 70s. I'm a 70s girl through and through.
All right.
But she did
Well,
look beautiful, and if you're gonna be there during Dapper Days, it would be really fun to do that because you can't do that very often. So take advantage
Mm-mm.
if you can.
yeah. And if you do, send pictures to the Facebook group so we can revel with you in how awesome you look,
Yeah.
because that would be cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, Sophie, you have anything else?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, I have a few more. Let's see here. Oh, um and all this kind of goes back to the temperatures and the beautiful sky. You know what? I'm going to take us down memory lane just a little bit, because when we were blessed to be able to be at the Magic Kingdom for the 40th anniversary, it's when we got Sophie right after lunch, and we drove down with my niece Stephanie and Cindy and I had on my Mickey Safari hat, and Sophie said, "Daddy, are we going to Disney?" And I said, "We are if you get in the car." And she got in the car, and it was so cool. And we had the best time. But
That's
I'm going to
awesome.
tell you, it was so amazing, because I don't think I've ever experienced 2 days back to back at Disney that were so perfect with the temperatures like that. That's
Yeah.
when we
That's
met
great.
Brenda and Susan for the first
Mm.
Yes,
time on
that's right.
September 30th, 2011. And then
Yep.
on October 1st, we were at the Magic Kingdom, and
Yep.
it was like the sky, like someone had put on the super bright blue sky light bulbs on in the sky, because it was pristine, and the temperature
Sounds
was
heavenly.
phenomenal. And
Wow.
and that was probably one of the best weather trips I can ever remember. So in that vein, with those kinds of experiences and that kind of weather, if you're going to go to Animal Kingdom, take a trip on the safari. It can only enhance it that much more if the weather is that gorgeous and the sky is that beautiful. And
Yeah.
take a visit over to Rafiki's Planet Watch, and just soak it all in, you know? Soak it all in. There's a
Yeah.
lot of outdoor stuff to do there. The train ride over and back is just a glorious thing. So
And
just
look
keep
up
and
because the
look up.
Christian Skyrider is always riding in the sky,
That's right. That's
especially
right.
on beautiful sky days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one, and I have one more after Brenda goes.
Oh, well, I can't go without mentioning this because it's one of our all-time favorites. And if you're going from Thanksgiving, like after Thanksgiving and up and through the holidays, you would be very happy with yourself if you were able to attend the candlelight processional, because it's the story of Christmas. It's the biblical story of Christmas put to beautiful music and singing, and it's just the best way ever to be put in the Christmas spirit right at the beginning of the holiday. It's just so beautiful and wonderful. We really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I love the candlelight processional. It reminds me a lot of like cantatas, Christmas cantatas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a huge thing for me when we get into the Christmas season. I love going to the church services. I love all of the music and the Christmas
Yeah.
carols, and it's very traditional, but to me, Christmas time is really heavily based on tradition.
Yeah.
Yes, it's such an enjoyable experience.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it for me.
That's it
All
for me
right.
too.
Well, my last is it's not just an autumn thing to do, but it's an every time of the year thing to do. And that is to enjoy a ride on the Walt Disney World Railroad. But
Yeah.
again, if the fall weather is perfect and the sky is phenomenal, that it's going to make that railroad trip around feel that much better. It's just going to feel that much better.
That's
And
true.
so that
Certainly.
that is the piece de resistance on
There
a
you
great
go.
day at the Magic Kingdom. That is
Yep.
the
Mic
piece
drop.
de exactly. Exactly. so
Good one.
so that
All
that's
right.
just the way I roll with that though. That's just it. It's just
Yep.
phenomenal. So
Rolls off
all
the
right.
railroad.
Yeah. Well, I think we have a great list. Do you guys think we have a great list?
I do. I think we have an amazing list.
All right. Well, then I am going to invite the listeners. What are your tips for fall travel at Disney? I'm going to post it in the Facebook group and I am going to see what they say and we will report back next week. So put on your thinking caps and let's get thinking about that because fall is right around the corner, as we know.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we did this episode today because
Yeah.
fall is this weekend.
Man.
So
Can't wait. Can't
I know
wait.
Brenda can't wait. She's from Texas. She's used to 800 degrees every day. So she can't wait.
It's going to be great. It's going to be
But
All right.
great.
now it is time for this day in Disney history. So, Sophie, what do you got for us?
I'm taking us back to a very, very long time ago.
Hmm?
The year is 2001.
Oh, so Sophie was almost 3 months old.
I know, I'm an old hag, aren't I?
Whatever.
Well, September 16th, 2001, Walt, the Man Behind the Myth, a TV special about Walt Disney, airs as part of The Wonderful World of Disney on ABC.
Wow.
Narrated by Dick Van Dyke, the
Oh,
2-hour show features interviews with some of the people who knew Walt best.
And be prepared to cry if you're going to watch it because there ain't no getting by it.
I
yeah.
think I'd like to watch it.
I have never seen it.
Oh
I
my
was too
gosh.
I was too busy changing poopy diapers.
It
Mhm.
Or non
really
ones.
is.
But yeah, I
I
gotta
mean, those people that worked so closely with him and when he died, it was like their whole world. It
Yeah.
just, it's
pulled their
heartbreaking at
heart
that
out. It
part.
pulled
Oh my
their heart
gosh.
out. Yeah. And I mean, we covered that in some of the cases, in some of
Mhm.
the things that we read about and learned about from our Walt Disney tribute post, which
And our
is
9 old
still
men.
in our Nine Old Men, but it's still one of the best things. So we need to see, Sophie, if we can find it somewhere. Whether I don't know if it's on Disney Plus or if we can find it on in YouTube or where, but that
Yeah.
would be
Or at your
worth,
library,
Mhm.
maybe.
yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
worth looking at and seeing it. Yeah,
It's really special. Thank you, Sophie.
Thank you.
yeah.
Look at him. He's acting like he's going to stump you, Sophie. Look at that look.
So did you actually have your characters chosen, Daddy, when I
I
texted you
do,
this morning?
I
Okay then.
do, and I think this is an easy peasy lemon squeezy.
We'll see.
So I'm going to start with the second one first because I think the first one is really easy. Second one, maybe not so easy.
Okay.
Mr.
What?
Litwack. Litwack.
Mr. Litwack. Is that Lewis's teacher from Meet the Robinson?
No.
Hmm.
That's a good guess, but no.
It is a good guess.
Okay.
The second one is Surge Protector.
This is from The Incredibles.
No.
No?
Uh-uh. Got another guess?
No.
Okay. Taffeta.
Oh, this is Wreck-It Ralph.
Mhm.
That's right. Is
Very
Ralph.
good.
Mr. Litwack is the owner of the Family Fun Center where all the video games are.
Oh.
He's the arcade owner. He's not a teacher. Oh, goodness.
And
Good.
Surge Protector. I love this little bio
He's
about
like
him.
the police officer
Yeah.
that. Oh,
Listen to what it says. Surge Protector is a straight-laced civil servant whose job it is to guard the entrances and exits of the various video games in the arcade. He's prejudiced against bad guys and checks them much more often than good guys. However,
Mm.
however, he's got a rebellious side. His hobby is painting graffiti on the walls of Game Central Station.
That's
Really?
hilarious. That is hilarious.
But taffeta, yep.
Very
I
good,
knew,
Sophie.
I knew you would get it with taffeta, but
Thank you
the other
for
two,
throwing me a bone.
well, I mean, there's only so many characters that you wouldn't get it with, and that one seemed like the hardest of them, but I didn't think it was all that hard. But anyway, I just love seeing this is a fun way for me to get obscure character recognition, you know?
That's true.
So
Yeah.
Mr. Litwack,
Very good,
the
Sophie.
whole reason Wreck-It Ralph exists
That's
in the
true.
movie anyway.
You're right.
Yeah.
Because if he didn't have the arcade, then there is no.
Well,
It-
there would be Wreck-It Ralph. He would just be somewhere else.
Yeah. Anyway, good job, Sophie.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
All right,
Yay.
Brenda. It's time for a little bit of Walt.
No matter what the provocation, I never fire a man who is honestly trying to deliver a job. Few workers who become established at the Disney studio ever leave voluntarily or otherwise, and many have been on the payroll all their working lives. Walt Disney.
Walt Disney.
Amazing.
You know what? That's what made Walt Walt. He could read how hard a person was trying in their job. He could read people.
Yeah.
And that's how he knew who to have in his studios and everywhere else.
And if he knew you were trying, he kept you on. That's rare. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to really care about people to
Yeah.
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 to do that. I mean, you have to really care enough to want to give them an extra lift there.
All right.
So he did, and we love him, and that's why we do this show.
We adore him.
Yep. That's exactly why we do the show. It's a tribute to him. Even though we cover, our favorite things and stuff like that, but in the end, it all comes back to Walt.
Everything.
It does.
That's the whole reason we are who we are, in part is because of Walt. So great quote. Thank you, Brenda, for sharing it, and thank you, Walt, for speaking it, of course.
Right.
And that, my friends, wraps us up for this week. Next week, I have a listener topic request. Our friend Pam said that she would love to hear more about the ins and outs of the Lightning Lane multi-pass and single pass system and how it works. So, Brenda, is our resident expert on everything,
But especially this.
and especially this. And so, I help out with the technology, but really, I
And
just
I
learned
help
it from
out with
Brenda.
the vibes.
But she just learned it from Brenda. We all just learned it from Brenda.
Mm-hmm.
But
Funny.
anyway, so Brenda is going to go through the system. So it'll be a heavy Brenda day next
Oh,
week. But
Sorry,
Sophie and I
y'all.
will try.
I'll apologize in advance.
Don't apologize. You're wonderful.
You're wonderful,
Thank
and
you.
you know it.
Thank you.
And you know what? I'll just try and sit here and look pretty and ask a question that doesn't make me look like a fool. So there you go.
Same here.
Every now and again, yeah. So
Daddy
So
might
there you
have an
have
easier
it.
time than me, though.
the ins and
I'm
outs.
going to try not to look like a fool, too.
Well, you're Aunt
Oh.
Brenda.
You're gonna be awesome. You have no.
You're
capacity
wonderful.
Yeah. So
Oh,
anyway,
hilarious.
the ins and outs of Lightning Lane multi-pass and single pass.
I think it's
And-
working out.
Well, good.
Okay.
That's just a little teaser for next week. We're not gonna get any details.
True.
Anyway, until next week, we hope you all have a great week. If you don't have a smile on your face, I hope someone shares one with you. I hope we shared a smile with you. If you see someone without one, lend them one of yours.
Mhm.
And just remember, we are all in this world together. So let's enjoy each other and love each other, because that's what it comes down to. That's what we're called to do.
Yes.
Until next time, I'm Mike. She's Sophie. That's Brenda. And our closer is Grogu, who says, yeah, I am the headliner.
Yeah.
He
and
says,
we
"May
will-
the force be with you."
Yes. And we will.
We'll see you on the
See you
road.
on
Road.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.